Blades, Guns, and Memes here, and today I'm going to tell you guys a story of when I smoked tea. So, it all started one day. I was walking home from school. I looked down and saw a leaf, and for some reason I thought, I wonder if you could smoke leaves. And as I'm walking, I somehow the tea came up, and I was thinking, you know what? You could probably smoke tea. Like all you have to do is just light it on fire and smoke it, right? And so this was back when I think 4 years ago. So I was about 15, and I was dumb, and I'd never smoked, vaped, anything in my life before, and so I was a good child up to this day. So, I went home and I looked up real quick on my phone, can you smoke tea? And the results I got were yes you can. It's not going to do anything for you, but yes you can. I didn't care about anything but the words yes you can. So what I did was I looked up a video of how you would do it. And this video popped up with this guy literally sitting next to his fireplace rolling up a tea blunt. And so I was like, all right, we can do this. So I went around my house real quick. I went in my kitchen, got a nice tea bag, right? Put it in this pencil box I had. Actually, no, I got like 6 of them. Put them in the pencil box. Then I went downstairs in my basement, found some sticky notes. The ones about like that long, that big. And I put them in that box. Then I got a pencil, put that in the box. And then I got like some cotton balls, put that in the box. Zipped up the box, put it in my backpack, and forgot about it for the rest of the day. Then the next day, I went to school, and a lot of my friends back then would smoke and everything. And so they would smoke, vape, everything. So I knew one of them would have a lighter on them. And so I went up to this one kid. I was like, yo, do you have a lighter I could borrow? And he's like, yeah. So he hands me a lighter. I'm like, all right, awesome, thank you. And I'll get it back to you later. And so he's like, all right. And so I take it, I put it in the pencil box. Then I wait for the rest of the day to pass. So the school ends and I walk home. So I go through the woods in the behind my school where there's no really anyone. So I go in these woods. I stop at this giant rock, and I'm like, this is the time. This is when I will smoke some tea. And I was being absolutely retarded when I did this, but then, so what I did was I opened the pencil box. I got a sticky note, put that down. Then what I did was I rolled up the sticky note. Then I got the cotton ball, ripped off a little piece of that, put it on top of the sticky note. Got the pencil, shoved it down so it created a filter, and then I got the tea bag, ripped it open, and then just continued to pour it into my little cylinder of paper with a little filter. Then I crunched it off so it closed up, and I lit it and I smoked it. And it tasted like tea, like dry tea leaves. That's what it tasted like. And tea and smoke. I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I had never smoked before, and I was like, oh, look at this, I'm smoking tea. And so I decide, this is awesome. I'm going to go walk home with it. And so I'm walking on the side of the road. And mind you, a lot of people know my parents. Like, they know me too, but they know my dad in particular, and in this town. So I'm walking, and I see a cop rolling up. So I quickly just throw it on the ground and step on it, because I'm underage, and smoking is not good underage. So I thought, oh man, he's going to take me to jail. So I throw it down, stomp on it, and then just kind of stand there and continue walking. And the cop car just passes. Doesn't really do anything. Just passes me. And so I'm like, alright, we're good. So then I make another tea blunt, and I start smoking it. And that's when all of a sudden my dad rolls around the corner. And I'm like, so I throw it down real quick, stomp on it, and then just kind of continue walking like nothing happened. Well, his car stops right next to me. He's like, get in. I'm like, alright, guess we're going shopping. So I go in the car, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and he says, you smell like smoke. And I was like, really? I don't smell it. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you smell smoke? Nah. And then I'm playing absolutely stupid. And so he says, so what were you smoking? And again, I'm like, do you really smell smoke? Are you sure that's smoky smell? And then he said, what were you smoking? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I decided that, you know what? He probably thinks I'm like smoking crack or something. So I should probably tell him what I am smoking so he doesn't think I'm doing things that are 10 times worse. So I look at him and I'm like, alright, I'll tell you, but you can't laugh. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to laugh. This is not a funny situation. And so I'm like, alright. And I tell him I was smoking tea. And he's like, why are you smoking at all? And I tell him, I don't know, I just want to try it. So I did. And he's like, okay, so where'd you get the lighter? And me, not being no snitch, I said I found it. I didn't know where it came from. I found it on the side of the road, so I used it. And he was like, yeah, okay. And so then we drive home, and I just kind of go upstairs and just chill in my bedroom, waiting for my mom to get home. And so my mom in this household is the main disciplinarian, I guess you could say. So my dad, I'm not really afraid of him, but I'm not afraid of either of my parents. But like, I was scared my mom was going to be mad more than I was my dad was going to be mad. So I'm waiting for my mom to get home. She gets home, I go downstairs, and she walks right past me, doesn't say a word. And so I'm like, that's not good. And so we're eating dinner, and she's talking to everyone but me. I said, hey, Mom, and she would just stare right past me and pretend I didn't exist. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And so then I just kind of go, and dinner finishes up, and so then I go on and sit at the computer desk downstairs. And so I'm sitting there for maybe a good 10 minutes when all of a sudden my mom comes up to me with a little cup and says, piss in this. And I was like, okay. And so I go and do that, and then she tests it. And apparently she brought a drug test home. She knew about everything. And she brought a drug test home. And so I piss in the cup, and she give it back to her, and she tests it. And she's like, this is positive. And I was like, how is that possible? That's not possible. There's no way that's possible. I've never, and believe me, I'm not lying, I've never done anything before that point. And I was like, how does tea show up on a drug test? That doesn't make any sense. So I was dumbfounded. I was like, how is that? That's impossible. He's like, so then they start drilling me. They're like, where'd you get the weed? What'd you smoke? How'd you smoke it? When'd you smoke it? Who'd you smoke it with? All this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, it's tea. That's all I smoked. I didn't do any drugs. And so they're drilling me for a good hour, just asking all these questions. And I'm like, I don't know. There's no way. And so, then my dad actually takes a better look at the drug test. Is like, we misread this. And I was like, really? And so he shows my mom, and the drug test was actually negative. They just misread it. And so then they're like, oh, we're sorry. Well, this has built a lot of trust in us, though, that you stayed and you stuck with your story and everything. I was like, thank you. And, yeah. So I didn't ever smoke tea after that again, but, 4 years later, I never smoked tea again after that. And, yeah, that's my story of when I smoked tea. Hope you guys enjoyed it.